No, it's exactly a bat signal that comes out to tell them exactly what to say. And 1 minute they're this way, then they're this way, but they're all in unison. So you have these two competing.
Hi guys, welcome back to Baldurs Gate 3. We're at the beginning of a Druid run. I'm playing Dragon person, Dragon person, whatever. I forgot the name of him. Dragoon? Forgot the name of him. Son of a gun. Anyways, they have a name. So I'm playing that race. And Druid. And we just touched down on ground as far as I know. And I saved it, so let's continue.
Until you realize, holy hell, she's a basket case. So the goal for the media is to get you to stay in the first narrative without ever seeing the second. They did this with Joe, right? They tried to stay in the he's as sharp as a tack narrative and not, oh my God, he's a basket case. So again, it's not left versus right. It's not like I hate Kamala Harris. It's like, no, we're just saying that's fantasy, this is reality. The New York Times had 8 of their prized columnists, great potential candidates on electability. She was the last, and she was seen as fundamentally weak and floundered as VP. But it didn't matter. The party has to coalesce around her because they feel that they have no choice. They have to do what they're told. When the higher ups say, eat your vegetables, they eat them. Or in this case, they cover for them. So you prepare for the most orchestrated effort to snow the public. She will be genius. She will be focused. She'll be on top of things. But, and I will end on this, Dana, I would like to think that the media has matured in the way they consume information, and you mature by being repeatedly burned by the stove. And the stove is the media, right? They tell you that riots are mostly peaceful. There are fine people on both sides. Joe is as sharp as a tack. So you got to remember the previous time you were burned, or you will get burned again.
It's almost just kind of curious what you think, because it does feel like the Democrats feel freed from the shackles that were tying them down with Joe Biden. But is she the answer to the question? Like, if you took everything voters dislike about Joe Biden and solved only the age problem, does that get you to where you want to be in November?
So I'll address the joyfulness first, because it's permeating all of us. And I saw this tweet that I think really summed up what was going on. A staffer on the Biden-Harris campaign who said the last 3 weeks felt like a funeral, and now I'm at an open bar wedding. And that's how it's going to be for the next 104 days. And that doesn't mean that we're divorced from reality, that the cards aren't stacked against her, that Trump doesn't have an advantage. She was polling behind Joe Biden in the matchups, and most of them on a national scale and in key swing states. And obviously, they're going to have to be very smart about who you pick as VP to try to pick up the state that they're from. But if we're going to lose, we want to go down swinging. Swinging from that coconut tree or whatever. Like, we are unburdened. We are here living in the context of which we are, where we are, with the passage of time. Just inject all of it into my veins. That's all right. I am on the bus, and I plan to be there for the next 3.5 months. And I think that when you talk about the coup, I should have used my quotes, the coup of all of this, the fact of the matter is that no rules were violated from this. The DNC rules are the same that they were 2 weeks ago as they are today that allowed this. And these delegates pledged to support Joe Biden, who then told Joe Biden what he wanted. And what he wanted was for them to support Kamala Harris. I know a lot of people, I know Harold, for instance, was in support of a mini primary of sometimes, and everyone was trying to game out, you could have battleground town halls, for instance, let delegates vote. We have no time. And we also have a record of the Biden-Harris administration that a lot of people are really proud of. And she is the heir to that record. And the Trump team, they will try to run against that. But she's come armed, not with a knife, but with the kind of guns that she needs to talk about what's going on with the economy, to talk about what they've done in terms of producing more oil than ever in history, what they're doing to expand Medicaid, capping insulin $35, et cetera. And you're seeing the public react. It's not just Democrats, it's swing voters as well. $100 million in donations, 1.1 million unique donors, 62% are first-time donors. A lot of the big donors, except for one, I think, notably, but are back in. Reed Hastings just gave $7 million. He was one of the first ones to call on Biden to drop out. Should also say that Trump's path to winning was running through getting many more Gen Z voters and many more black voters. The CBS numbers of Gen Z 62 to 37, Kamala advantage, and there were organizing calls for black women and black men. Over 40,000 people were on each of those calls worldwide.
Okay, so Katie, they have been almost, it's like today they're rebranding Kamala as a lifestyle brand.
Ooh, okay.
Right? So there's all that. We have a lot more. We have lots more to come on the show about all of this, but it's almost as if the Democrats are on this really long flight, and when the meal finally comes, you don't care what it is. You're like this is great, and I'm going to eat all of this and be happy about it.
Well, Kamala Harris can't come to this fight with any knives because we used all those to stab Joe Biden back and get him out of the race, and he wanted to continue on to the DNC, but talk was that they were going to change the rules to try and get him off of the ticket to get delegates to change their opinions. So that wasn't necessarily a voluntary action by the president. While Kamala Harris was giving her first big speech today, Donald Trump was holding a press call with reporters, and he was going directly after her record on the border. And he specifically said she has been part of the willful demolition of our nation's border and laws. So they're trying to rebrand, and they're doing it successfully with the help of the media, at least in the short term, her as a lifestyle brand or a good personality that people can get behind. The Trump campaign is still very focused on her record as a senator, her record with Joe Biden as his vice president, and that's what they're going to continue to focus on, is on something be disciplined as he was in the aftermath of the debate. Finally, I would just say that the RNC basically forced them into this position not to have a mini primary because the Republicans were so united after the lead.
There's no time. Yeah.
There's no time. They don't want to go into their convention not united, especially when there's just a couple of months till the election. There are some pros to Kamala Harris. She's been successful on abortion, getting people out to vote. She's also been very successful using taxpayer money to register people to vote in a nonpartisan way. So there are some things I want to look out for, but the rebrand, they're going to keep focusing on the record.
The media I was getting some strong thrill up their leg Obama vibes today from the media.
And yesterday, I would say a couple of things going on. Number one, I remember her first day last time. She had a great speech to open up, and I think President Trump, he was president at the time, Kamala was pretty strong. She could be formidable, and then she started giving interviews. And she was all over the place when it comes to issues. Maria stand on fracking. I think I'm against it. Would you spend $10 trillion on a nuclear deal? Sounds good to me. How does that work? Where did the money come from? And it turns out the same thing dragged her, followed her right into to the Naval Observatory, because her staff was quitting, saying she refuses to read background information, refuses to vote up on policy. But the one thing she's younger. She'll be crisp on the teleprompter. Those are two things that are pretty strong. I thought it's funny about Fabricio, who is Donald Trump's personal poster, came out and said, look, she could get momentum and surge past Trump temporarily in the polls. But the thing that's weighing on her is the same thing that's hurting Joe Biden, that President Trump has not budged from. Their policies are bad. It caused inflation in Afghanistan at the border, and also Kamala, you see the Vice President of the United States walking down the steps. Coming back from the down the stairs. She's ahead of the boss. And I'll say this. Her problem will be, her challenge will be when she sits down for an interview. When she sits down for an interview, when people ask her real questions about where she stands and what has she done and what has she not done and what does she believe, that's the problem.
Where she's been, like not Europe.
Yeah. I would love, if you have a chance to Google this, we didn't show it to you, but Chuck Schumer announced he was endorsing her, and he was basically like begging people to clap. So we'll see how all of it goes. But an exciting moment in the election coming up. What does it take for President Biden to fire anyone in his administration? Apparently not this. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle finally resigning in disgrace over the colossal failure at the Trump rally. We'll be right back.
We are people living with aging. And over 400,000 of us have left lessons behind. For life. We've cut our stroke risk and said goodbye to our bleeding worry with the Watchman implant. We may be getting older, but we've never squeezed more out of life. And we are just getting started. Join us at Watchman.com. Watchman, it's one time for a lifetime.
superstar, but what makes him unique is what he does when he's not on the silver screen. Mark is passionate about his family, his faith, and his country. He joined me on a tour of our 9/11 mobile exhibit. With his powerful voice, he's helping us to never forget those who have sacrificed so much.
You guys are doing amazing work.
Our foundation, you know what we do. We take care of our first responders and Gold Star widows, the loved ones died in the line of duty or leave young children behind, catastrophically injured service members. We build these mortgage-free smart homes. You're a man of faith.
Absolutely.
St. Francis of Assisi said, brothers and sisters, while we have time, let us do it.
Absolutely. We don't have to do our part. There is definitely a role for every one of us to contribute in some sort of way.
See, now we don't hold any grudge with any New York-Boston sports rivalries because of all that you guys do.
I had the good fortune of being able to visit Afghanistan and to see the sacrifice that our brave men and women actually make to provide our freedoms. I don't take that lightly.
As I got involved, I was inundated with calls about how big people could help and contribute.
It represents all the great heroes that died in 9/11. We're always going to hold it to the highest standards of any foundation in America.
Couldn't find a more worthy cause.
The fact that this is something that has literally touched and affected every single person, they just have to be a part of it.
And your reputation is beyond impeccable. Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you. We need your help to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and all the first responders' families with young children. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting teachut.org.
All right, Biden head back to the White House just as Kamala's coronation is well underway. But will the party soon have buyer's remorse? The latest tonight on Hannity.
Ready to party? I'm talking about Jack Clock party.
Another sunny day by the water. But it only takes one bad decision to change the mood. Voters operating under the influence of alcohol or drugs pose the same danger and face the same consequences as those operating a motor vehicle. They'll lose their license, face fines and insurance increases, and pay even jail time. Impaired voting is impaired driving. There are better ways to spend a sunny day. Enjoy the summer on safer roads and waterways. Arrive alive.
Look at the camp, see what's going on. Should have some items waiting for me there.
Welcome back, everybody. So, what does it take to get fired by the Biden administration? Apparently, not the worst Secret Service failure in 40 years. The agency's director, Kimberly Cheatham, resigning in disgrace today instead of getting fired after numerous shocking security lapses led to the Trump assassination attempt just 10 days ago. And it comes one day after Cheatham got chewed out by Congress, both Democrats and Republicans saying they lost confidence in her ability. Take a look at the defiance.
We failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. I have taken accountability and I will continue to take accountability. I accept responsibility for this tragedy. We are going to look into how this happened, and we are going to take corrective action to ensure that it never happens again.
We just won't tell you what that is. Former President Trump hasn't directly weighed in on her resignation, but offered this on Truth Social. The Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect her, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so. And before Cheatham resigned, the former president was telling Jesse what it was like to meet her watch.
She was very nice, I thought, but
You know, somebody should have
There are
made sure
lit
there was
fuses
nobody
in
on
our
that roof.
heads.
That roof was
Sooner or
a
later,
dead
they're
end
going to blow.
right onto the stage.
Each hour that
And
passes, the
they
thing
said
inside us
the
grows.
manpower for it, which is crazy.
We need to
130
find a
yards is like
healer.
sinking a 1
Let's
foot
wake up at
it's
first light.
considered really close. You know, Dana, you know about communications? She had no interest in telling anybody anything about what she knew.
Maybe we'll get
She
lucky.
didn't visit the site. She
We're
didn't talk to the
overdue some
people
good
in charge. She
fortune.
didn't say who was
Rest
in
well.
charge of
We'll
the
need our
preliminary
strength.
study to decide how they're going to secure that place. It's almost as if she said, I don't even care if I keep this job.
There are so many examples this year for crisis communicators to point to of how not to do something. You think about the university presidents that were all, again, the bat signal went out and said, don't you dare say that anti-Semitism is a hate crime. And they couldn't even answer the question, what happened to them?
What about what is the word?
Resigned, fired, okay? This one, it's not only that I'm interested in communications, it's that I'm interested in people doing a good job in government. And she did not. But when you see President Trump in that interview with Jesse with the smaller bandage, and you realize just how close he came to dying, she has had no emotion about this either. Got to say, so maybe she did privately with him, maybe she's just thinking that this is professional. But it became untenable for her to stay when you had both Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Marjorie Taylor Greene agreeing that she should resign. It was untenable. She was going to have to go. I would add this. I think this is a very dangerous time because what have we shown since President Trump got shot? We don't know anything about the shooter. We don't know how it happened. We can't answer any questions. What do you think our adversaries are thinking right now? That America has lost it. It's not even like we have September 10th mentality. It's like we have 1942 mentality. Like nobody's paying attention to the threats that are out there right now. And I think it's very difficult to understand how somebody like Secretary Mayorkas also didn't fire her, right? Because Biden won't fire her, but she reports to Mayorkas too. And Mayorkas is the one who's been saying all along, everything's fine, the border's fine, everything's fine. We don't need to, we've done everything perfectly, we've done everything well. This man, the former president, almost died. And this close.
Right.
And they have no emotion about it.
And it's great, great points. The other thing is, you're welcome. The other thing, Greg, is they lie. They say, oh, there's a slope on the roof, we couldn't put anyone up there. There was somebody up there. You know why they got down? It was too high. So they got down off the roof. So why don't you just come out and say, I've been down there 3 or 4 times, I talked to the guy or the woman in charge, and this is what they did wrong, and here's the policies going to change, and this is where the perimeter should be. And I know you don't watch more on TV, but they did watch Jay Johnson this morning on Fox and Friends, and he said he fired the head of the Secret Service. He was waiting for the president. Wasn't doing his job, I got rid of him.
Wow. Thank you for that summary and Fox and Friends.
I usually jump the VHS tape over your
Exactly.
so you know what your monologue.
I think whenever you see incompetence, you see shifted priorities. And in this case, it was the priorities of experience and competence got shifted to ticking boxes. It's not like experience and competence, you can't get that. It just takes longer to get there. It's just a math problem. DEI makes it so that demand exceeds supply. If you say you want more redheads, well, that's a smaller pool. And it's going to deplete faster. And if you don't get there first, you're going to end up with a less qualified redhead. And then there's going to be all these blondes and brunettes who could have done better, but they don't fit exactly what you want. I think that negligence is also related to the political decision making. If Cheadle shares the same antipathy as her friend Dr. Jill does, the denial of manpower and technology and resources for 2 years makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's an odd, why didn't they do it? It's because, why? I mean, it's like, sometimes it's just the most obvious answer. But I think, something died that day besides the retired firefighter. It was DEI. I think that got shot. I think we saw that merit doesn't work in no-fail situations. Sure, you can use it in customer service, Disney movies, the DMV. It's Secret Service. You can't run it on a social experiment the same way you can't do it with surgery or with plane maintenance.
I just want to absorb that for a second. Now we'll move on. No, it was very well done.
We'll move on. I have a whole other studio.
This is the only studio we have right now. No. All right, thank you. Jessica. So she is gone. It's time to move on. And President Biden, I think, would have been a bigger deal had he said, I'm still running for office. But do you think this was an opportunity for Kamala Harris to say at this point she works for the Secret Service in that testimony?
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't started thinking about how I could pay Kamala
Okay.
So I think that she got a good bipartisan drubbing in all of this. I watched some of the testimony. I thought Jared Moskowitz, the Democrat from Florida, was fantastic, and I've been thrilled to see him coming on our air more. And something that he pointed out that really struck me, he said, not only did something like this happen, it happened live on television. We couldn't cover this up for our adversaries or people who are wondering how easy it would be to get a shot off of a former president of the United States of America. We're sitting around on a Saturday afternoon and we see an assassination attempt live on television. The stakes of that are so much higher than if it happened in any other type of scenario. My big concern now is that the investigation continues full steam ahead. That there's no kind of roadblocking of that. That she leaves, but hopefully whoever steps into her shoes or the people who are there now do not hold back, and then we get a full recounting of this because the American public will not settle for less.
Okay, remember there was no lie. We got that out over the weekend. We didn't tell the director. Number two is there's three platforms, encrypted platforms, and he contacted one right before he got on that.
There's a lot more that we need to find out about this, but I think the general thing that I take away is that this just shows why Biden couldn't run for a second term. When you had Lloyd Austin disappearing for weeks on end and the president not knowing about it, that made him look weak. When you can't fire the head of the Secret Service and she has to wait 9 days while she's still not doing her job, not visiting the site, and you still haven't fired her and you allowed her to tender her resignation, and then in your statement you praise her after what has happened, I mean, it just shows that he's weak, and that's why he can't run for a second term. This is it's an indictment of his leadership style.
I agree, and I do want to find out more. I want to see that investigation, because we don't have list. Joe Biden was on his hit list.
Yeah.
Eric Portman was on his hit list. This is a bipartisan investigation, and so far they're actually doing that. And with your permission, I'd like to stand further ahead and tease that.
Permission granted.
Thank you. President, coming up, President Biden is no longer missing after Democrats threw him off the ticket. That's all I have.
Okay, let's save it here.
Boys and girls, we're going to go to see where Chat at Medical Academy. The class size is 1.
Excellent. And we'll pick him up next time. Alright, guys? Peace out.
But you know it's going to be a big change.
But it's the right thing to do for all of us.
It's just your mother and I want different things.
Which is why we got Sling TV.
So we can watch live and free TV all in one app?
That's right.
Dad gets live sports and news, and I get my reality.